And we're back. Welcome back to the best show that nobody watches, Believe Landia. I'm Jim Myers. Welcome back, everybody. I know, it's been a minute. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not sorry. Can't find it time to record. I know, they always say, you got to be consistent, you got to have a set schedule, all that. Well, they don't live in my world. But anyway, you didn't miss anything. And I'm here to cover it all, to catch you back up, even though you're already caught up. So it's just basically me just giving a recap, I suppose. But hey, that's what we're here for. We're here to just hang out, chat, right? At least I think so. That's what I'm here for. Anyway, again, welcome to Believe Landia. If you're new here and likely are, please give us a like and subscribe. There's plenty of room. So just to, I don't know, pick up where left off last week, scouting combine is over. Nothing too exciting. I mean, Buckeyes had a good scouting combine. What's up? Unless you're on the fence about Carnell Tate running a 4.54, which is still fast, by the way. I'm still taking him at 6. So there's that. Before we get in all that, the free agency stuff, the Cavs. Let's talk about the Cavs first of all. The honeymoon is over with James Harden. So they're, yeah. They win a game. They look great. Then they'll lose a game. The next game, win a game, look great. Lose a game, the sky is falling. I don't know. You look at last year, they look great. So I don't know how to read things anymore. They're going they're getting, I don't know. They are about the same, maybe a notch better with Harden than Darius Garland. They are. But I don't know. Can they win a title? I don't know. I said this last year, probably around this time last year, that the whole key to the Cavs winning a championship is Evan Mobley. And I got to admit, guys, I don't know if Mobley is the player that everybody is expecting him to be. Like last night's game against the Bucks, he looked like the guy that you need him to be to win the championship. I don't know if I just don't know. He's hit and miss, and it's disappointing, but at the same time, he's still very young. So, like, he's not even where he's going to be. But I don't know if we're going to get there because he's he's I don't know. We just don't know too much about him. Like we don't know what makes him tick. Like some nights he looks like the best player on the floor. And then other nights you don't even know where he is. He's so inconsistent. And especially when he's playing against other really good players, that's where he seems to shrink in those moments or in big games. And that's where you need your best players the most, especially the guys that can make the biggest impact. And I don't know if that's just still being a young guy and still growing into being a pro or if this is just it. Because I don't know. You would think seeing Garland getting traded out of here would have, I don't know, if I was him, it'd light a fire under me because, like, if Garland's getting shipped out of here, then there's a good possibility, whether I have a max contract or not, uh, you know, he's he could get shipped out of here. And as consistent as he's been, uh, I don't know. But if I was him and I was in his shoes, that would, especially with Harden coming in, that would light a fire under me to be. I got to be better. Otherwise, I'm gonna be out of here too. So I don't know. Kind of, it's a little head scratching to me, especially for as far as long as he is in his career. He's with Donovan Mitchell now, last few years, and now you added James Harden, who plays great with big men. Look at Jared Allen. Like I don't know if it's a thing with, you know, Evan Mobley and Jared. Not like they don't like each other or don't like playing together. It's just they don't complement each other, and it's kind of like the same problem that we had with Mitchell and Garland. Like they're two good players. It's just there's no chemistry. Like when one's playing, it throws the other one off. And when they don't play together or one's out and one plays, they have really great games. It's never you go, I go, you go, I go. I don't know. It's really weird to me. Especially when you have uh Mobley, who is supposed to be a good shooter, so he can stretch the defense. So you would think that would open up things for Jared Allen and make things easier for like Harden and Allen, or vice versa with Mobley and Harden. Or it's a coach, you think. I don't know. There's then fair criticism of Kenny Atkinson not really tightening the reins a little bit as far as what he should be doing as a coach. Like, I understand they've made trades and there's new players and you're trying to figure out rotations, but that's stuff that every coach deals with at any point in any season. And yeah, uh, Kenny Atkinson has been in the league long enough to know how to manage that. I'm sorry. But yeah, Cavs, it's you're at the point now where you're a few weeks away from the playoffs. It's kind of time to start ramping it up. Losing to the Magic, unacceptable. Uh, and I know I'm old school, so I think you should play hard every fucking night. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. You get paid millions of dollars to play 3 nights a week. Yes, get off my fucking lawn. Get off my playground. How about that? I I don't I understand people are banged up and everything, but like you had Jalen Tyson. Yes, Jalen Tyson. I'm getting my Tysons mixed up now that I've got draft going on in my head. Uh, he was playing really great, really good, and then he's out of the rotations some nights, and now it's messed with his momentum that he had going. And yeah, I I'm a fan of role players knowing their roles. They have their roles regardless of trades. You know what your role is when you're put on the floor. And I'm not on Tyson shit. It's just rotations should be like set. Bottom line. I don't understand. This team is deep enough, and there's guys entrenched enough on the bench that just know their role, and they need to be ready when called upon. But at the same time, you as a coach need to be consistently putting them on the floor when it's their time. And it's it's just there's a lot of things fucking up the whole continuum of what things should be. And nobody seems to nobody seems to have a sense of urgency as far as, okay, these things these things are happening. We we're we're cleaning them up. Either through practice or shoot arounds or uh shit, just watching film. I think they still do that. No. Yes. I don't know. They should. I'm sure they do. I know I've heard Donovan Mitchell say something along those lines about right after Harden got traded there, and that's the only sense of uh, uh, planning or how they were going to make it work on the court at that point, which is still kind of weird to me because, like, couldn't the head coach kind of, have a little bit of a better plan than, hey, guys, just go out there and just fucking wing it? and play, and we'll figure it out. Like, I could see it that first night in Sacramento where everything just kind of happened, and, it's kind of hard when you're getting traded and you got to get acclimated and things like that. But anyway, that's there's your Cavs stuff. Hey, Gardos, spring training. Everybody's excited about the AAA and young guys, and probably should pay attention to the Columbus Clippers a lot more than you should the Gardos, because they'll be up by the All-Star break. But hey, it's spring training, which means that it's going to get warmer soon, right? Unless you live here in the land of Believelandia, where it's 70 degrees one day and then it's 20 degrees the next. The earth is fine. This is normal. I shit you not, over in the Cleveland area, for those that aren't in tune with the Ohio weather, over Cleveland, in like the same day, the there was an earthquake, the temperature plummeted 30 degrees, then there was a snowstorm, and then let's see, they got warmer, then it plummeted again, and there's a major blizzard going on in that state up north. But there's also a storm that passes through over where I live, but it snows again in Cleveland. And then then a meteor shows up and explodes over the Medina area. The earth is fine. All is well here in the world. But yeah, those are happening. Those things are happening. You really can't make some of this stuff up anymore. I swear. Then, like, tomorrow, it's supposed to be up in the 40s, and then by the weekend, it's supposed to be in the 60s and 70s. But anyway, it's spring training. Warm weather is going to be here soon. Hope springs eternal. Speaking of Hope springs eternal, free agency. The Browns. Whoa, boy. So, turns out, after months and months and months of hearing about every day, Malik Willis is the main plan. Malik Willis. Tua. Oh. Kyler Murray. I'm missing somebody. Oh, trading for Anthony Richardson. There was a legitimate, I'm not going to say his name because you can chime in with it and you probably might even know. Dead Set went on a fairly popular Cleveland sports show that is on YouTube. Dead face, straight serious. After the combine, he was so set that Malik Willis was plan A for the Browns. They were going to go all in and give him big money. And if that didn't work, the Browns, plan B or plan A1 was to trade for Anthony Richardson and get another quarterback in the room. Now, last video, I went on a whole fucking spiel. Malik Willis was going to go to the Dolphins because all roads led to the Dolphins. I don't know why we were even talking about the nonsense. And it wasn't just this guy, but what I watched, and he was straight-faced, dead set. That was going to happen. He was led to believe that was going to happen, especially after talking to people at the combine. He wouldn't say who because you can't do that. Or you can, but you know. So you heard nothing about particularly what the Browns are going to do with the offensive line. You didn't hear anything about, where other potential unrestricted free agents might stay, might go. Devin Bush, what was the status of him? Did you hear anything about that? No, because we've got our head stuck up in the QB cloud of nothingness. Browns fans like me rely on these fucking people for like legitimate info, and all they want to do is just grasp at pie in the sky fake straws and just pluck shit out of the air. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't hear some things from people, but come on, man. Like, I'm sitting here in the middle of fucking nowhere. It might not look like it behind me, but I am. And I could tell you, I think everybody with a functional fucking brain could tell you that even if Malik Willis was an option and he might have been a plan A, at what fucking point or in your cap space brain do you think, because everybody's a GM, where do you have the money to pay another quarterback, big time quarterback money? Anyone? While you have to spend a good chunk of that cap space money on offensive linemen. Anyone? So, and what happened? We traded for Titus Howard, who, I don't know, I didn't know who he was. I wasn't familiar with him. But he's durable, which is much more you can say than Jack Conklin, who plays 1 or 2 games at the beginning of the season and he's hurt for like the 5th year in a row. I hated seeing Wyatt Teller go to Houston, though, because I really like Wyatt Teller, but obviously, he wasn't fit to be a Brown anymore. That's your GM. Like I said in the last video, I'm not the GM. You're not the GM. But you can see what they're doing. You can see the writing on the wall. It is what it is. I wasn't saying, if we get, we can re-sign Wyatt Teller and convince Joe Bitonio that, it's worth it to break his body one more year on this team. And then we got our guard set. All we got to do is really replace a right tackle and a center and look to the draft for a left tackle. No, we got to replace all 5 and then get backup, like legitimate backups. I'm not the one that dug this hole. I'm not. Just tell yourself this, because this just is what makes me feel better. It probably make you feel better. I'm not the one who dug this hole. Andrew Barry did. And you could say Jimmy Haslam too, but Andrew Barry was the one pulling the strings too. And he, out of the people that got fired, was not fired. So, if you believe that Andrew Barry, it was Deep Podesta's fault, it was Kevin Stefanski's fault. Yeah, there was a lot of that. It was everybody's fault, including the owner. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. We're in the fucking hole anyway. And we're doing nothing because we can't really do much to really effectively get out of this hole. So I don't know where Malik Willis all of a sudden becomes the next fucking Cam Newton. It's like when Malik Willis was drafted, and I'm sorry I'm shitting on Malik Willis, who probably doesn't give a fuck. But it was the same shit coming out of Liberty. He was a top 10 pick if you watched every mock draft, because we got to pull at imaginary straws out of the sky because we don't know. And we're doing the same thing. I'm almost there. We're doing the same thing with Drew Aller and Ty Simpson and insert any fucking name that's a quarterback, because the Browns need a quarterback. So we'll just put a quarterback at wherever the Browns are picking. We'll hit on one. Meanwhile, you still need 2 tight ends. You still need a left tackle. You still need a backup left tackle. You still need a guard at some point, a center at some point, a backup center. Because Luke Whippler might, he'll probably get hurt too. Goodness. People don't see the holes. Oh, yeah. And you need a wide receiver 1 and 2 and 3. Don't talk to me about Cedric Tillman or Isaiah Bond or even Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy's not even a 2. That's why I keep saying, when you're the 6th pick in the draft and you have an opportunity to take an elite wide receiver 1, take out the fact that Carnell Tate is, if Mekhi Lemon was the best receiver out of the class, I'd say take Mekhi Lemon. Also, if they trade down and Carnell Tate is gone, and that'd break my heart, I still think that they should take a Mekhi Lemon. It's just, and I understand, you got to get your tackle. In my opinion, I think Monroe Freeling is still going to be there at 24. And if you're targeting Mekhi Lemon or Monroe Freeling, he'll be there at 24. And if you really want to trade up, you still have the capital to trade up a little further in the first round. I don't get it. I just don't. It's I don't get where some people are coming from. I don't, especially national guys or even Cleveland media guys. I know there's angst of we only have Shedeur and Deshaun Watson at quarterback. But again, tell yourself that I'm not the one that dug the hole. At some point, I'm going to put together lists, rosters of when Andrew Barry took over this team. And we're going to do comparisons of rosters year over year. That'd be training camp type thing, I think. But I've already done some preliminary research about it, and it'll break your fucking heart. From where this team began to where they are now as a roster, oi, oi, oi. It's not. It's just sad. I'll just say that. Like you had the likes of Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. Not to say that Odell Beckham was going to do great things, but this was right at the height of it. So it's just kind of disappointingly sad. Then they at that point they had one of the best offensive lines in football. Man, if John Dorsey could have just found a Todd Monken. I mean, he had Todd Haley sitting right there at that point in time. He had Greg Williams sitting right there. That would have done. A guy that even better than a Todd Monken. He's been. You've had guys that were head coaches in the league. Fuck. That's a video for another day. But anyway, free agency. No big headline. And I'm okay with that. Big headline was Zion Johnson. Actually, the big headline was Quincy Williams, but I'll get that in a second. Well, the first free agency move was a trade for Titus Howard. I don't have a fun graphic for that. I didn't have it set up and all that jazz. Um, so Zion Johnson was the left guard for. He was a left guard for a playoff team. Wasn't their offensive line kind of sucked, but neither here nor there. He's durable, young, and again, don't know much about him. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I do. I'm not going to rip off a bunch of stats or his pass protection rate versus his run blocking analytic rate, whatever. I just want to know if he can stay healthy and block. And maybe that's better than not. Not knowing at all. I don't know. Um, Thoughts on Zion Johnson? He's he's a starting guard in the NFL, and he has longevity. He doesn't miss games, which is a plus because we've had problems with that. Look at last year. But that was Kevin Stefanski's fault, right? Yeah. Yep. Yep. Just saying, if you're going to get rid of Kevin Stefanski, you got to get rid of Andrew Berry. Also, I'm not the only one saying this, but or asking this, but what exactly is the plan? Because to me, the plan looks like we're gonna make it look like we're trying to win, and we're gonna have our owners trying to 5 wins is we're all about winning, but we're rebuilding at the same time. To me, that's bullshit. You just need season tickets to sell in your brand new fancy barn, your barn stadium, and we're just trying to put lipstick on a pig. But hopefully, Zion is one of those guys that's around. He's young enough that he could be a stalwart on the offensive line and be a good key cog. Right? This is believe Andy. So you got to believe something. Because look, the likelihood out of any of this is, you know, out of the 4 guys that they've signed, how many realistically are going to be with this team if they become a playoff team? So at some point, the guys just, because this is Cleveland, guys. This is the Browns. Somebody's going to get hurt, and then injuries is just going to be one of those things where it just doesn't work out. Or the guy completely fucking sucks. Now, what's the likelihood of all 4 of those guys, or all 5, even if it's a rookie? What's the odds of that actually happening? And all 5 are all great, and they're going to be with the Browns forever. And they're going to win us a championship. What exactly are the odds? And what exactly do you think that is even remotely a possibility? I mean, anything is possible, but I've seen this movie way too many times, guys. That's not usually what happens. And we're just running the same movie script over and over and over and over. It's the same things, just the names change. And it makes me sad. Big sad. So let's get excited. Welcome to the Browns, Zion Johnson. Who we got next? Oh, let's talk about Quincy Williams. Undersized. Tackling machine. Tackling machine. I don't know what his tackling fuel is, but let's feed him some of that and not as many injuries. Yes? Yes. Because when he's healthy, he is a dog that could play in the dog pound. His height is a little for me, but dude's motivated to play for the Browns and Rutenberg. So that makes me happy. He's a 2-time All-Pro. Love it. And you need linebackers because we might be running some of Jim Short's stuff, but it ain't going to be the same scheme, and you're going to need more than 2 linebackers. So the more we can add, the better. And the type of linebacker is good. I like it. And he's a I don't want to say a high profile linebacker, but he's a notable linebacker that knows Rutenberg's system, or at least how he wants to run things. So that's a plus. See, there you go. There's some positivity. Yeah, I like what he brings to the Browns. I'm excited for him. He'll probably end up getting hurt and not playing 2 games. But hey, this is where hope springs eternal, right? So let's go. Welcome to the Browns, Quincy Williams. Woo! Welcome to the Dog Pound. Here's a guy. It's just Elton. Elton Jenkins. I think you're just supposed to say Elton with the G silent. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't met center, but he can play guard, and I guess his statistic ratings were the best when he played left tackle. That's when he was in his rookie season, I think. He's a good size. He can play all over the line, which we all know that the Browns like every player to be able to play every position. Instead of just being really good at your one position to play. Once again, he's a Pro Bowler. I like it. Not a guy that once again, you know nothing about or know a lot about. Unless you're like a side fan of the Packers. He's probably one of the ones I think will stick. Him and Zion. That's just my guess. I just kind of have a good feeling about him. He won't drive you crazy. He's also a guy that, let's just say Luke Whippler, becomes a starter at center. You could put him at one of the guard positions, whatever fits. Same with Titus Howard, too. Like, let's just say they like, I'm just going to call him Francis because I'll botch his name, from out of the tackle out of Miami, who is better at right tackle than he is at left tackle. I'd rather see him play right tackle if they draft him than left tackle because we have DeJuan Jones to fuck that up. Sorry, DeJuan. I've been just a huge fan of yours, but brother, gotta stay healthy. And I know you're more comfortable at right tackle. I would have rather seen them go out and try to get a left tackle and put him back at right tackle and then get him draft up, maybe in the lower rounds, mid rounds, another targeted younger right tackle to groom into that spot, or even just be the backup because DeJuan's not really reliable as far as going a full season. But yeah, welcome to the Browns, Elton, not John Jenkins. Yeah, welcome to the Dog Pound. Let's bring it in, guys. Big welcome. Excited. Jack Stoll. Got a mullet. He's a blocker. He's not Harold Fannin or David Njoku. He's just a blocking tight end. I think he can play pretty decently. I honestly don't know. I just know he's a blocker. He's a solid tight end. And you kind of really need those because you're going to have Fannin all over the other places. This happened, and some people I have seen actively try to talk themselves into he is this year's Malik Collins. He is not. But you still need depth on defensive line, especially defensive tackle. You could be a part of that rotation, and there's nothing wrong with that. 6'2", 310, solid. He's a younger type of guy, so let's go. Welcome to the Browns, Kalai Davis. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the Dog Pound. Then we re-signed, which I didn't even realize. I thought they signed him to a legit 2-year deal last year, where he had 2 years left on his contract when they traded for him. But hey, welcome back to the Dog Pound, Tevin Jenkins, who was the apple of everybody's eye in free agency last year. And then he proceeded to be MIA until the Browns were done with Wyatt Teller towards the end of the year. He has the size. 6'6", 321. I'm not sure why he didn't see much more of the field after, well, you watched after watching Casey Livingston become a human turnstile, playing guards at tackle. 6'6", 321, I would have taken my chances. Just saying. And then you thought highly enough of him to bring back. So, welcome back, Tevin Jenkins. Welcome back to the Dog Pound. And then, last, oh yes, the most important position on the Cleveland Browns, second most to the kicker, the best punter in the fucking NFL, Corey Boho Bojorquez. Best money they've spent this offseason, right? Right? Who here was having anxiety over the fact that Bojorquez was going to leave? And then we'd have another kicker problem. The one thing that the Browns have always been able to solve, no matter what, is the punter. Even the kicker has not been as consistent as having a punter. A quality punter. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? So that, other than a few re-signings of backup guys that I don't have it up in front of me and I'm not going to fucking bother. They're backup. They might not even make the team. Come time when those decisions are going to be made. Just it is. It is what it is, guys. But now this means we are headed to, you guessed it, the NFL draft. Held in Schittsburg, PA. Can't wait. What a better place to fuck up than in Pittsburgh. Schittsburg. I know. I feel like I'm the only one that has been calling it Schittsburg my whole life. Well, maybe not so much my whole life, but my adult life. A lot of people call it Pittsburgh because that's just too easy. But that's also, that doesn't do it justice. Schittsburg just hits the right note, right? It just goes together way too easily. But yeah, this is just me. And I'm just going, you would not get any mock draft out of me. Maybe right before the draft, because then by then, we'll be able to really talk about it, or at least talk about a mock draft. At this point right now, it's got to be Carnell Tate at 6. Then you just deal with however you want to move with the draft. There's plenty of tackles that'll be there at 24 or around 24, like a Monroe Freeling. I still wouldn't mind Caden Proctor. Like, there's still plenty of guys that I'd be happy with. We don't need. Again, last video, I told the Cautionary Kale. Goodness. The Caution. The Cautionary Tale. Yeah, I got it out. About Joe Thomas. I wanted a left tackle in that draft more than right now. And I was like, well, my whole rationale is we can't keep a quarterback because we don't have a left tackle. You can't keep a quarterback if he's on his ass all the whole time. We need Joe Thomas. And we did. And we got the quarterback. We got the quarterback, Brady Quinn. It's not even that excuse. It's just there's so many things that the Browns need right now. But the way this league is, look at Cincinnati and their offensive line. Would you rather have, I don't know, take the best offensive line in football in the NFL? Would you rather have that line or a really good group of receivers? Like, other than, like, name me one offensive lineman on the Seattle Seahawks who just won the Super Bowl. I can name you, was it Charles Cross? That's all I could name you. That's all I can name you. And I believe they have had the same line for the last few years. And guess what the common denominator is they solved their wide receiver and quarterback problem. So I would rather see, let's just talk about the free agency for a second. And I've mentioned this on Facebook. Please follow me on Facebook too. I would rather have seen them give good chunks of change to guys. Let's go back to Jenkins and to John Johnson and even to Tevin Jenkins. Guy, and Titus Howard. Solid guys that you might not know nothing about. But I'd rather see them. You're going to have to overpay anyway. But these small chunks of money for the line to have a solid line and give your fucking team a chance. Than to go spend boatloads of money on a guy. Because that's not how the Browns, that's not how they should be operating. So this is where, after shitting on Andrew Berry, I'm going to give him a ton of credit for free agency so far. I would really like to see a couple of receivers. It doesn't have to be major guys. I don't even know who's all still available. But, I would rather see let me bring up, I have a small list. But I know I had Romeo Dobbs, pie in the sky type of want, but he was a guy that I thought could realistically maybe give the Browns a chance. Not when the Patriots come call. I've yet to see guys like Jalen Tolbert. I know Jalen Naylor's gone. Darnell Mooney's gone. I don't know if Scotty Miller ended up somewhere. But guys in that range, no giant names, but you still need to add maybe not top tier wide receiver one, but you still need to add to that wide receiver room, even though Barry is went outside at the combine that he's very happy with his wide receiver room. Again, between him and Haslam, what fucking team are you watching? You still need to add, like, realistically, even after all this, and I'm even giving Barry praises, you're still not addressing the important shit. Then, I mean, you other than Jerry Jeudy, and this is, I'm giving Jerry Jeudy way too much credit here, but other than him, who's the other, like, maybe legit receiver? Cedric Tillman, you still don't know? Guys like that, you still don't know. Isaiah Bond, you still don't know. Like, to me, he's not even in your top 4 if you're serious about wide receiver rooms. Could he grow into one? Sure. Should he still be on the roster? Sure. But I just, it was just like drawing it up in the dirt and telling him to go deep, and he got lucky a few times. Which, yeah, you still need a little luck, but what came out of Isaiah Bond that you saw that made you hopeful that he was going to be a top wide receiver on this team? So there's that. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I'm probably going a little longer than what I wanted to. Shocker. I know. But that'll do it for me. If you have not, and you most likely have not, because again, this is the best show that nobody's watching. And we're only getting better. I feel like I was better today than I was the last time. So, if you watch this video, thank you. Past, present, and future. Because as I'm recording this, and upload it, and then you see it, and then I don't realize it. Then it's my past. That's a whole time thing. Let's not get into that because then we'll get in a whole big bunch of rabbit hole. But if even if you just popped in to see what the fuck is this dude doing, thank you. I appreciate it. At the very least, give me a like. You don't even really have to subscribe, but give me a like. Look me up on Facebook, Instagram. That's the only thing that I'm really putting effort into at this point. Or leave a comment here. Yeah, that'll do it, guys. I'll be popping in probably, hopefully, more and more. That's my dog. He says, get the fuck off here. So, I will leave it right there. And then for that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious